Okay.
Hello, thank you for joining the Cleveland Leader Roundtable. Live from the Berea Fairgrounds, the Cuyahoga County Fair is going on currently. Today we're going to be talking about some sports. The first thing on the agenda is the Cleveland Browns. Then we'll move to the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and lastly, we will talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. First things first, the Cleveland Browns have started training camp. There's a new era. Eric Mangini is at the helm, taking over for Romeo Crennel. Bill, what do you think of the direction of the team?
I think we finally have a direction. I think that we have a disciplinarian that's not putting up with any more nonsense, and we have an identity. And it'll take a year or two, but we're building towards something. We've already had the talent for the past 2 years. It's just going to take somebody to put that talent in place.
Dan?
I think we're looking at Snoodsville, Ohio. Eric Mangini is a very boring person. It's almost like listening to Mark Shapiro talk. We have a coach that is rambling answers with no real answers to it. He doesn't have a point of view.
Bill Belichick's a barrel full.
I'll tell you, actually, I worked. Eric Mangini had an office about where the bar is, and the bar is about 5 feet away from us. His office was behind mine. I was working security at the Browns. The guy doesn't have much of a personality. Dan, that's right.
I did not know that story.
Do you need a personality to win?
Yes.
I don't think you do. Bill Belichick does not have a personality.
I think it helps. I think it helps the brand, but I don't think you need it to win. I think Bill's right, but I think it does help.
Well, as a lifelong Browns fan, I'm 41 years old. And the last coach
I
pulled the age card. The last coach I can remember with a personality was Marty Schottenheimer. After that, it was Bud Carson, somebody named Schaffner, I think.
Bud Carson was great.
Hold on. Then Belichick, who is a great coach. And then we had Chris Palmer, Butch Davis, and Romeo Crennel.
Retigliano had the most personality.
That was before Marty Schottenheimer. I am tired of boring coaches. I want to see somebody that tears up a locker room, that tells it like it is, that says, we're going to go this way, or no way at all.
Well, obviously, I give Mangini the thumbs up. I think he's all right. Dan doesn't like him. Bill,
I'm starting to like him. I didn't want him at first.
I like the move. I mean,
cut Sean Smith or malcontent to make an example for the rest of these guys to fall in line. They cut Sergeant Winslow. Told him to get the
I'm a soldier.
Told him to get the hell out of here because he's a malcontent. And you know what? Braylon's gonna have to fall in line or he's gone too.
You're reading too much Terry Pluto and Tony Grossi. Everybody,
don't put me on that.
Actually,
I am putting on you.
Braylon actually is coming with a good attitude. Actually,
Braylon's got talent. We all know.
He can't catch. That's a problem.
Yes, but he
now our problem is this pretty boy quarterback going to work out? I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, that's where we have to go to. Anderson or Quindan.
Bernie Kosar.
Okay.
So you want Ratcliffe?
I want Bernie Kosar.
So this guy wants Sam Rutino, Bernie Kosar, and he wants Jim Brown in the backfield. I mean,
Otto Graham calling the signals.
And Paul Brown coaching. Truthfully, I would rather see Brady Quinn as a quarterback. Derek Anderson played against a very, very weak schedule.
Very true, and he fell apart at the end.
His numbers were really good up until he got to the point where he actually had to win some games. He played like garbage against Cincinnati, a very winnable game. If they win that game,
and
they go to the playoffs. And Arizona, very good point.
They won that game.
No, they didn't.
That guy got forced out of bounds.
That was Kellen Winslow.
They won that game in my mind.
If you say a game goes because of one play, they don't deserve.
Well, that was the last play of the game. He got the
Can
ball.
we call the NFL and say in his mind we should have?
Well, actually, if it went down last year, it would have been the win because they changed the rules just because of that play.
I will make a point here. Brady Quinn, I think at his peak will be maybe a little bit better than a Trent Dilfer, which you can win a Super Bowl.
I like Trent Dilfer. I think I think
So
that's
I'm not
actually
saying you
insulting
can't
Trent
win with
Dilfer.
him. So maybe we can go that way.
I'm agreeing with Bill, and let me say this about Trent Dilfer. Yes, he won a Super Bowl, but you want to know what? The Baltimore defense won that Super Bowl.
No, he
Browns
didn't.
have some pieces.
Dan, what was I love Trent Dilfer. I love Trent Dilfer like you like Brady.
Mr. Thomas Brady, yes.
What was the record of Baltimore when Charles Dilfer took that team?
I don't know.
They were
I don't
1-5.
care. So you,
That team was 1-5 then, but Dilfer doesn't get any credit. But we're regressing.
Who's he taking over?
Anthony Wright.
I don't know. I won a lot of money on Baltimore that year, though.
All right, that's
Well,
you
it's
don't
just
need
like the
persons.
Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl. They had what, Brad Johnson, or it was one of the Johnsons. That team stunk, but their defense was unbelievable. That's what won the Super Bowl.
Well,
It
Dave
wasn't
Williams
the
still is regarded as the only black quarterback, but he didn't run for 250 yards out of the backfield.
It was Doug Williams, and Tim Smith is the one that ran for 202 yards, a rookie record and NFL Super Bowl record.
Okay, Dan, here's
but
my
let me say
question
this.
to you.
Hold on. Doug Williams also went to the NFC Championship game in 1979 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who 3
Very
years
true.
before were 0-14. The guy was a good quarterback.
Schroeder was the starting quarterback of that team, though, for 90% of the year.
Doug
Whatever
Williams
the
was a
fuck
good
his name.
quarterback.
All
Don't
right.
swear.
My question to Dan then, what do you think about the Cleveland Browns defense? I think they're building.
I think the Browns defense is nondescript. They have Cameron Wembley, who hasn't done anything since
He's the key to the
rookie.
season.
I think Denquell Jackson is a weird name, so I don't like him.
He is a
He's
stud.
good. Yeah, he's good.
I don't like his name, so I think he's going to be stiff.
He's an up-and-coming
I like Brandon McDonald, who, for some reason, they always had one-on-one versus a stud receiver such as Terrell Owens, or who were some other receivers last year. They had him one-on-one against some really good receivers, and it upset me because he's a good cover man. He is a good cornerback.
He looked foolish against Denver trying to strip the ball.
Well, that's Brandon Marshall, though. I'm glad you mentioned
No,
that.
it wasn't Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
It was number 19.
Was it Eddie Royal then?
Eddie Royal.
Well, Eddie Royal's pretty good too. They have some good receivers. He was always against a number 1 or number 2 receiver, an elite receiver. He looked bad, but he's a good cover.
My point was he tried to strip the ball instead of making the tackle.
I like trying to strip the ball.
Sometimes that has a place, so I agree with both of you guys on that one. I'm going to take the easy way out.
I'm not anti.
I like
Brandon McDonald. I
aggressiveness.
think he's got a lot of talent.
I like aggressiveness. Ricky
What about the safety from the Jets?
Oh, Kim.
Elon?
I don't know.
What about the linebacker from the Jets part?
I don't know him
He's a
either.
tackle machine, 100 tackles in the past 3 years.
I think the Browns.
Cousineau was a
We're
tackle.
regressing again,
I want a
fellas.
beer. Okay.
Do you have one in your hand? I think the Browns are close on defense. They're one linebacker away. They're still not. They have a decent defensive
They're
line.
Cameron Wembley waking up away. That's all they are.
Yeah,
He could be a talent.
He's the key to the season. Okay, predictions on the Browns season, record-wise.
By the way, it's 7.5 in Vegas.
5-10-1.
I'm gonna go with 8-8.
8-8 here too. The 7.5. I'm going to tell you why. 7.5 in Vegas. I was going to mention that, but they'll steal my thunder. It's a sucker's bet. They want you to bet the under, bet the over. You win some money. Send me tips.